Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and we have so much to celebrate. We are coming up on the 10th anniversary of Litecoin, and we've got Johnny Litecoin on with us today. We're going to look at what Charlie Lee has to say about Litecoin. So we'll be right back after this quick break. Give us a like, share this video, and we will be right back. Hey, Johnny, happy Thursday. Happy almost birthday to Litecoin. We're coming up on the 10th year of Litecoin running.
Yeah, we're coming up. We're coming up on it.
When is the actual day? Do you know the actual day?
So I guess you would technically say it would be like the 13th.
Okay.
Because it was so the Genesis block was mined on the 8th. 5 days later, after being put to a vote, the Genesis hash was publicly released. And on the 13th of October, the network was opened. So I guess October 13th will be the official birthday.
Interesting.
Guess depends who you talk to, though. You might get someone that's a real truist and says, no, it's the 8th.
It would be the 8th or the 13th.
Yeah, so it's but this is, it's the only other crypto with double-digit time in existence besides for Bitcoin. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Charlie did some tweets today, and one of them I retweeted just about liquidity, and
he did like a whole history. I thought this was cool that he did like from my perspective.
Yeah.
I thought this was cool. He said, as we're approaching the 10th anniversary of Litecoin, I figured it's a good time to do a long Twitter thread on the history of Litecoin from my perspective. For my memory of events can be hazy at times. So for those mentioned, feel free to add or correct anything I say. Here it goes. He said, from the first altcoin to Bitcoin is actually Namecoin. It used the same mining algorithm as Bitcoin, SHA-256D. After Namecoin came about a dozen other altcoins, and he goes into reading all of them. This was all before Litecoin was launched. Every one of these coins are now dead. These altcoins experimented on different things like faster block times and different mining algorithms. Bitcoin at the time was predominantly mined by GPUs. 10x brought back CPU mining with script. This is actually very important because miners are the coin's first users. And it's important for anyone to be able to easily mine the coin. If your miner base is large, your user base is large. And those are the users that will actively push for adoption and help make the coin succeed. The problem, though, with these altcoins was fairness. Most of these altcoins have huge pre-mine. 10x brand, for example, had 7
Tenebricks.
Oh, thank you. See, I don't know
what
it is. I was not there then. This is all new to me. Tenebricks, for example, had 7 million coins pre-mined. That means the creator had incentives to pump the coin to high price so she can profit massively without much work. You get things like creators bribing exchanges for listings. Since the coins were just printed out of thin air, it's cheap to collude with exchanges to pump the coin. We've seen that happen with ICOs in 2017. If a coin was not pre-mined, you get things like ninja mining. That's new to me. That's when a coin is released silently to friends and family. And it might be released without the source code or with only Windows binary. That way, a small number of users get to profit early on. This was the landscape of altcoins before Litecoin. So what I tried to do with Litecoin was change all of that. Fairness was crucial. I basically took everything that's good from these altcoins, speed, CPU mining, and did a fair launch. That's why Litecoin succeeded where others failed. The name Litecoin came to me pretty quickly. I thought of something like a elite coin first. Ooh, that would have been bad. Then, then Litecoin jumped out. The best part was all the domains were available. So on 10/4/11, I bought them all on GoDaddy. What a great move in hindsight. So now we don't have something like Litecoin.com promoting Litecoin Cash instead of Litecoin. A 38.85 well spent. And then he has a screenshot of that. That's pretty cool.
Good
This would
thinking.
be a cool NFT if he NFT'd this thread. Just saying. He says, I worked on the code for a few days. To be honest, Litecoin was not hard to code up. The hardest part actually was to create the Genesis block. Satoshi never documented how he did it, and the code to do that was not checked in with the Bitcoin source code. So I had to do some reverse engineering and managed to create the Genesis block on 10/7/11. Oh, I like that. And then he gives a link to that. What a lot of people didn't know is that I put the headline of Steve Jobs' death in the Genesis hash. Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
that's interesting.
This proves the Genesis block was created after 10/5/11. That's really interesting.
Interesting. Like a
So then on 10/8/11, I announced Litecoin to bitcointalk.org. Bitcoin Talk is basically the only place people chatted about Bitcoin. No one used Reddit, Twitter, Facebook. The code was available for anyone to download and compile, so they can check the code to make sure. Here's the launch thread. Binaries were also available for those that trusted me and didn't know how to compile the code for themselves. People were able to immediately mine on testnet or make sure everything works on their system. This is very important. The way everyone can be prepared to mine at launch so that launch would be fair. To accomplish this, of course, I had to share the Genesis block with everyone, but I can't just do that because people can mine a long chain in private from that Genesis block. At launch, if they release that long chain, it will become the longest chain and they would win all those early blocks. So what I did was lock in a block after the Genesis block. I mined block 2 and 3 and hard coded those hashes in the code, but I withheld a couple parameters. Without those two parameters, one cannot start mining on the mainnet, but they can easily mine on the testnet. So I lied. There was a 2-block free mine of 100 coins. The Genesis coins cannot be spent. Then I did a poll on what time we should launch the coin. Interesting. I did everything I could to think of making this as fair as possible. As you can see, the winning time was not what I voted on, but was actually very inconvenient time for me. But crowd, albeit very small, has spoken. So I prepared everything to launch at that time. Over the next few days, I did everything to help people get their system set up. A few minutes before the actual launch time, I posted this. Of course, this was a link to Rick Astley's video. I had to. at, at launch, I posted the config parameters, that were needed to mine on mainnet. All everyone had to do was paste that into their Litecoin config file, restart their client, and they will be happily mining real Litecoin. Of course, there was a mad rush of people mining Litecoin at the start. There was quite a bit of chain orphaning as the difficulty was set a bit low. There was no way for me to predict how successful the launch was going to be. I myself only managed to get a handful of blocks. People, for the most part, were very happy how well the launch went. I think I managed to pull off the fairest launch of any coin, and that's one of the biggest reasons why Litecoin succeeded. Surprisingly, very few coins copied Litecoin's launch. Okay, that's it for now. I will tweet more later about what happened between the launch and now. So, oh, wait, one more thing. I forgot to mention that I chose Litecoin because Litecoin is the lighter version of Bitcoin. It's faster, cheaper, easier to use. We got to see a young unknown at the time, Vitalik Buterin, hating on the name. He just wants to torment him. I prefer Litecoin over Ethereum. Wait, is it Ethereum? Anyway. So then he goes on to talk about the logo, and I think it just keeps going on and on and on. So
very good little
great thread.
little thread.
Mhm.
Awesome. to show how it released. And yeah, the name to me, I mean, when I first heard the name, it made sense and it intrigued me. The name had a good energy around it. I like the Bitcoin story, and something about the name also too was like Litecoin, like Ethereum. Like when I first heard of that, I was like, what is that? Come again? Like it didn't resonate as a money until you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think that's definitely important. And it's yeah, I mean, that was an awesome thread, guys. Definitely go through and read through all of this. And looks like Charlie goes in to give a lot of history too after this, after the launch and everything. So, I mean, Litecoin's been out for 10 years. This is big. I mean, I've only been involved with Litecoin for 4 years or so, right? So to think that, and I feel like I've been around now for a while. People are used to probably like, oh, gee, Johnny Litecoin videos. He's been out talking about Litecoin forever. Well, it was around 6 years before I even hit the scene and was talking about it. So it's and look at where it's came in 10 years. It's an asset that's worth over $10 billion. You took a form of money that seemed like a crazy thing, and now it's accepted and integrated into PayPal, Venmo, all these popular places you can buy Litecoin and cryptocurrency. There's Bitcoin ATMs everywhere that support Litecoin. You can have a Litecoin payment converted automatically into US dollar. There's publicly traded trusts that accumulate Litecoin. There'll be a Litecoin ETF at some point soon. There's just so much around Litecoin. And I did a tweet this week that got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And I said about 3 coins on TV. And you always see 3 coins on TV. It's not a coincidence which 3 coins you see. It's Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And there's a lot of arguing about Ethereum.
Is it this one?
No, this is just this one wasn't a video. This was just a regular old tweet that I did. That video was pretty good though, because it was a good demo. But if you scroll down, Lisa, I'll keep scrolling.
This one?
No,
that's the one about happy hour.
Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. That one, yep. Scroll back up.
Okay.
Right there.
There we go. Oh, it is. It's always Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Yeah.
Yep. If you see that, I said Dow is in the red today, while Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum are in the green. It's also no coincidence which 3 coins you always see on TV. In August, the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, was speaking, and he mentioned how most cryptos he considers a security. And he actually singled out Litecoin and said Litecoin, how it's not, because of how it was a fair launch, no pre-mine, all this stuff. So all the stuff Charlie was talking about, how it was released, is critical to whether or not is this a commodity or is it a security? Is it crypto tech or is it money? So there's no coincidence which 3 coins you see on TV. These are the staples of crypto. And Ethereum, a lot of tons is being built on Ethereum. You can't argue that, but Ethereum had a had a pre-sale. So it had all this stuff. The blockchain, they had to roll it back. that's why Ethereum Classic came out. So, Ethereum has not been a smooth ride. It's not nearly as commodity like as Litecoin would be, as far as how it was released and all those properties of sound money. So, they also call Litecoin and a few other cryptos, but these are the ones that are deemed as legal in all countries or whatever, like regulatory compliant or whatever. They call them BLCAs, Bitcoin like crypto assets. And that's cryptos that are similar to Bitcoin, and obviously being like proof of work mining, decentralized, so on and so forth. So, in the proof of work mining, that's a huge part of it too. Not that I'm against staking or any other stuff for the network capability and high throughput. There's going to be a lot of winners as far as tech goes, crypto tech, that may be masternode platforms or staking or different types of, different types of setups. But as far as like being a money, I think that proof of work is so important, to have that cost of creation and that cost of production. I mean, if anybody tells you, oh, Bitcoin, they created out of thin air, Litecoin, they created out of thin air, say, you try to mine Bitcoin in your house, you tell me if it's created out of thin air, guess what? You're not going to wind up with a coin, and you're going to have a really expensive electric bill.
Right. That's where some of these people are getting in trouble, where they're, getting caught mining Bitcoin in hospitals, or even that one guy that got caught mining Bitcoin in, I think it was a government building or something like this. But it also really helps me when I'm explaining to people about those proof of work and talking to people about Bitcoin and Litecoin. Talking to them about cryptocurrency, especially when I'm talking to people who understand gold and silver and why it's valuable. When I can relate it to mining, it takes effort and labor. And I think Bitcoin Ben was one of the first people that explained to me about how, and Public and I were having this discussion yesterday about how fiat or money is just a store or representation of our labor, a store of our labor, of the hours that we spend laboring. And money is a way to store that. And so then if you look at, oh, well, that's because it took hours and energy, labor to dig up the dirt to get those rocks out. And we say that gold has value. Well, if you look at the energy it takes to mine, to run the computer, to cause the algorithm to run, to create the coins, which is like pulling the gold out of the ground.
Hold on one second, Lisa. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I was on a run here. I was on a roll here. Something happened. Must be a dog or a kid thing. One of the two. Hold on. Something's going down. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys in the chat, when you're talking to people, like what that kind of, especially when you're talking about proof of work, then when you get into proof of stake, it gets a little more complicated. But especially when I'm talking to those new people to crypto, if they understand the value, why holding gold and silver in your own possession is important, then that's an easy transition for me to help them understand those proof of work coins and why Bitcoin and Litecoin has value, and running those proof of work.
Here's a good explanation I gave to somebody recently. And Lisa, I combined it with talking about gold and silver.
Yeah.
And I said, think of Bitcoin or Litecoin and I said, think of it like gold. I said, think of Bitcoin like gold and Venmo combined. They combined forces. And now you have
That's a great point.
gold in an app that can be transferred around like how you can do in Venmo. And I said, just like in Venmo, you can move the money from that platform and transfer it into your bank account if you need. And then that clicks. And I said, but it's very important to understand the gold aspect, because people say, oh, no, well, if you just think of it like Venmo, you're totally missing the point. And then I go into how gold, I said, who owns gold? Like what company controls gold? People are like, well, nobody does. It comes from like the earth. I say, exactly. I say, and what makes gold valuable? I say the fact that it's scarce.
Right.
And we don't have gold most likely in our backyards. We don't have gold that we can mine any, decent amount of. And so I
Depending
explained.
on who you ask. If you ask Bix, there's another story. But
So
as far as we know, how much gold that is accessible or out above ground at this point, and it does take work to bring more gold above the surface.
Let's go with the Litecoin angle, so we can talk about silver. We don't want people digging up their yards to find all this gold. All right, don't be doing that. You're gonna be sending this show your landscaping bill.
Right.
But if you look at it like Litecoin as silver, and then it's like silver and Venmo combined forces, and it gives silver value too. Silver is also scarce, and it's the same idea, but it's in my mind, there's two cryptos that are like precious metals. It's Bitcoin and Litecoin, and they're your gold and silver, and everything else is I feel like we should be open-minded to everything else, but just recognize it as it's more like crypto tech. And these are the networks and the tech, and where all out of the products and stuff are going to be built off of these other platforms and proof staking things and masternode things and all that. And where your Bitcoin and Litecoin will be your money and your store of value, and and Litecoin obviously is going to serve that. Well, in my opinion, and I think it's kind of shaping up this way, you're going to see it where Litecoin's going to live out to kind of what we always said, where you're going to be able to move on and off of these second layers better. So maximalists, so he said, no, once Lightning Network comes out, Litecoin is toast, right? Well, first of all, Lightning Network is just one piece of the pie. I love Lightning Network. First of all, I'm really bullish on it. I want to support it. I'll do videos about Lightning Network. I want to go out and pay via Lightning. But that's just one piece of the pie. Look at all the DeFi stuff we're doing and all the stuff. So I think in crypto, it's going to be really important to have a monetary coin that has utility as well. And then what's going to happen in the future, you'll be able to do an atomic swap on something like the Lightning Network. So then if you want to move your coin out of DeFi or move through one of these cross-chain bridges, you're obviously going to want to be moving Litecoin out of there for the faster conf times, lower fees, yada, yada, yada. And then if you could atomic swap into Bitcoin or whatever, or the point is where everything's interchangeable, everything's going to have more use together. But Litecoin will be that monetary coin with more utility. So don't let maximalists sway you when they say, oh, it's one Lightning Network. First of all, Lightning Network wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Litecoin. The first Lightning Network transaction was done on the Litecoin network. Lightning Network's only possible because of SegWit. They brought SegWit to Litecoin first. I believe Charlie Lee, it was very risky. So what happened was he had put $1 million in a wallet at the time.
Oh, wow.
And basically said on one of these like Bitcoin talks or something like, hey, like, here's the wallet. If it's unsecure, come and get it, kind of thing. And the rest is history. Once no one can get into that wallet, the upgrade went through on Bitcoin. And notice also, too, they're pushing through the, have you heard of the Taproot upgrade that's coming to Bitcoin?
I have. I'm not completely familiar.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
The Taproot upgrade is going to make Bitcoin more private. Okay. It's actually really good.
This Taproot is to Bitcoin as Wimble or MWeb is to Litecoin.
No, they're totally different protocols and totally different things. But Taproot also helps in making things more, you know, it doesn't allow for complete privacy. It just allows to make things slightly, you know, we're going in the right direction.
Okay.
And it's also good for scalability. So coincidentally, Taproot is going to be released in the next Litecoin release, which will occur before the next Bitcoin release. So they're basically going to bring Taproot to Litecoin first before they bring it to Bitcoin. So you see all these things that happen on Litecoin first, and then you'll see Litecoin get everything that Bitcoin gets, and then you'll see Litecoin probably do some things that might be something that might be a little riskier, or maybe the Bitcoin community wouldn't be able to ever come to agreements on. So like Mimblewimble, you might not see Mimblewimble on Bitcoin for years. You might never see it at all. There might be then another privacy protocol that comes to Litecoin that you don't see come to Bitcoin. So that's where we're going with Litecoin. That's where it's heading. And don't get stuck in that Lightning Network narrative. But the other thing is too, I see a lot of bashing in the Litecoin community for Lightning Network, because I feel like probably because the Litecoin community gets mad because the maximalists tout Lightning Network so much. Some people from the Litecoin community are like, well, we don't need Lightning Network, this and that. So I think we want Lightning Network to win, and Litecoin's going to win. Like, they're both going to win. And even if it's just at first, if it's just the Bitcoin Lightning Network being used, that's fine. Right. Because again, we just want crypto to be more used. The whole reason why you need Lightning on Bitcoin right now, you don't need Lightning on Litecoin right now. It's not needed at all. Let me explain why. You could pull off a double spend on Bitcoin really easily, because some of the wallets allow you to do what's called like replace by fee. So if I went into a retailer, bought something, paid with Bitcoin on chain, left there, I could then send another transaction out with a higher fee, and it would cancel out my first transaction. Not all wallets let you do that, but some do. So if you knew what you're doing, you're going to go in there, the wallet that lets you do that, right? So Litecoin, the reason why this isn't possible on Litecoin is, first of all, the blocks clear faster. So even if you tried to pull this off, you'd have to be that much faster with what you were doing. And second of all, the Litecoin blocks are not full. Okay. So meaning they can handle a lot more throughput, and they're not full. So your transaction, no matter how low of a transaction fee you put on it, it's going to go out in that next block. So that's the difference, is that Litecoin works over the counter right now. Litecoin works taking a payment wherever you're at, where Bitcoin doesn't work over the counter right now. Right. If you're at a retailer, unless you're paying,
you sit there and
wait. You know, now if you're using Now, okay, now BitPay, how their software works, you have to pay with certain wallets, right? Now those
But you have to
wallets,
create those invoices, right, to do that?
no. So what happens is with BitPay, when you go to pay a BitPay invoice, so like when you go to check out and BitPay is the option, it brings up a QR code for you to scan.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to use certain wallets to scan it from.
Okay.
That's their thing, because certain wallets will allow you to do that replaced by fee. So obviously they don't want that to occur. So then they're probably going to, they're going to restrict it to wallets that don't allow that to happen, which is fine. That's just how their ecosystem works. And it's an on-chain payment. Now, like something like Flexa, which works at retailers over the counter, Flexa is different because it's taking value from an app that you have and it's transferring it, and the AMP token is collateralizing that payment. So Flex is different because you're not doing an on-chain transaction, if that makes sense.
Because it's going into, doesn't that settle in USD?
It does, but it's just that Flexa is its own network collateralized by this AMP token.
Okay.
So Flex is that's working in a different manner. So but just if you set up a Bitcoin QR code and a Litecoin QR code and you were a retailer, you'd have more risk with the Bitcoin QR code because of this double spend. And that's the issue. That's why Lightning's needed. And I'm pumped for Lightning again. I'll do videos for Lightning, and because what happens is Lightning's more used than, and there's more integrations with Lightning. This is what people don't get. Then all of a sudden, it'll be a need to develop the Litecoin Lightning network out more and build more integrations for that. And then that'll be an easy thing to do at that time, because it's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's already in the Bitcoin Lightning network's already integrated and people are using it. They're familiar with it. They already did all the hard work. So that's my thing, why we always want other people to succeed. It's like even another coin. If you're like, oh, I don't want them taking that coin. I hate that coin. It's like, well, it's a coin. So if you go in there with your coin and you're like, hey, we want people to pay with this coin, the business shouldn't care. They're just like, we just want people to make payments. Cool, we'll take that coin. The other coin did all the hard work. They convinced them to accept
Get out of fiat. Right.
Get out of fiat. Yeah.
So we had a really great question. I know we just have a couple minutes, but so we're seeing all the tipping with Strike on Twitter and those kind of things. Do you see that moving into a position with Litecoin being an option to tip with Litecoin on Strike anytime soon?
Nope.
Do you see opposition to that?
No, folks. So what's going to happen is you won't see much happen with Litecoin with Lightning for a while. Okay. Because it's not needed for Litecoin, right?
Because it functions well without it.
It functions perfect without it. So if you think about it, you'd be better off using Bitcoin on chain if you could. It's just that Lightning enables more, lower cost payments, more, frictionless, all those benefits. Then okay, that's the benefit. Once Lightning has more penetration, there's more integrations, and over time the Litecoin network will become more used. It's already since I started running around putting stickers on people's windows, there's 5 to 6 times the transactions each day more that occur now to then 4 years ago, right? So we keep going up like that. Give it another 4 or 5 years, the Litecoin blocks could start to become full as well. And then we might get a need for, hey, wow, Litecoin's, we say, hey, wow, Litecoin, there's been such adoption. It's really being used as a money now all over the world, and DeFi's blowing up, and people are, Johnny, you were right. People are really using Litecoin a lot for cross-chain to move in and out of these things because of the low fees. Well, guess what? Litecoin blocks will become more full. And now we'll have a need for the second layers on Litecoin. And because Litecoin is compatible with Bitcoin, because Litecoin was the first coin that transacted on the Lightning Network, it's basically going to be like plug and play to get it up to speed and build everything out at that time. It's not going to be, you're not starting from scratch. So that's when you'll see things developed at a rapid pace for Litecoin. And again, they'll just be able to literally plug into what Bitcoin's done, and with all those integrations. And my hope is that Lightning's used for a lot of payments all over the world. What an awesome, awesome thing. I'm just saying that I think more people will want to move off of Lightning in the future via Litecoin. That's my speculation, and that's my bet. And I don't see why people would be moving off of Lightning into Bitcoin more when, again, this is not every situation. I'm just talking about most use and transactions across the world. It seemed like people would want something that's cheaper and faster than something.
Could Lightning be that cross-chain solution? You know how so back when email was, oh, you're on AOL or you're on Gmail or you're on whatever. And then it became where Gmail could send to AOL, and they had that, cross email option. We have to get to that for mass adoption in coins. We have to have that cross-chain solution.
You'll be able
to
do
that solution for.
Sure. You'll be able to do a cross-chain transaction on the Lightning Network in the future, and then you'll absolutely.
That's huge for mass adoption. Yeah,
and that's huge too. So think about that.
You're going to be walking into a store and they don't care what coin you have because they have Lightning, and
now the store might say, we want to, no, we're going to take settlement into Bitcoin Lightning, right? And then ultimately they might want to settle into Bitcoin on chain, right? And they might just set their system up in the future where you're coming in paying via Lightning, and say you pay with Litecoin Lightning, right? Their system might just be set up where it just does a quick cross-chain swap on the Lightning Network, which take a fraction of a second, and go right into the Bitcoin, which I could see that if Bitcoin's more stable in price. I'm not arguing with that, right? Bitcoin is the soundest, hardest money in the world. I'm just saying that for use, for mass adoption of crypto, I think people are going to use Litecoin a hell of a lot. And it's already happening. This isn't me just thinking this and I'm, walking down the road like a crazy person, having no evidence to back it up. We look at the on-chain data, it's being proven. Again, when I started out, like, let's say the beginning of 2018, when I got on Twitter and I was really starting to do my videos and all that, Litecoin Network was doing 20,000 transactions a day. Big day was 25,000 transactions a day, right? Now we do 125 to 150,000 transactions per day. So a lot more transactions, a lot more use. There's a lot more ways to buy Litecoin. There's a lot more ways money can flow into it, flow out of it. So it's, I'm thrilled about where we've came. And the beautiful thing is too, what an opportunity. The market is pricing Litecoin at a discount compared to the rest of the market. A lot of the buzz went to like, your stuff that was new, your staking
Micro coins. Yeah.
micro meme coins, your
Meme
staking
coins. Yeah.
platforms,
Yeah.
all this different stuff. So I am a heavy buyer of Litecoin or accumulator. Again, not that I don't have a lot of fiat to buy with. So I'm more of an accumulator, if you like, my yield farming I'm doing and things like that. So I'm going to be a heavy accumulator of Litecoin, as long as the market's going to keep pricing it at a discount. So, they're giving us a gift because eyes are off of Litecoin. There's a Litecoin halving coming up in 2023. So all I can say is that the world has woken up to what crypto is, right? There will be a lot more attention on this next Litecoin halving.
Mm-hmm.
Mark my words, there will be a frenzy of buying into Litecoin leading up to this. It's going to be out there. There's a halving. People are going to be like, what? Litecoin is a halving too? I thought it's only Bitcoin.
Right.
People are like, Litecoin's scarce like Bitcoin. Oh my God. And then after that next halving, you'll see the supply shock hit Litecoin. Because again, now we're going to more use, more Litecoins being held, more is coming off the market. Trusts are buying Litecoin. There's going to be a Litecoin ETF. And now we're going to go into a situation where half's going to be created. And we're going to see the same thing happen to Litecoin, like what happened to Bitcoin, where we had a supply shock.
Well, and you have to remember that people are coming off of and out of this stock market where they could only buy one share. They couldn't buy the way you can buy parts of Bitcoin. And so they're still in their mind. The normies are coming in from the stock market as it crashes, as this financial system dies. And they're thinking, oh, Bitcoin is how much? Well, how much is Litecoin? And that is going to happen as they come in and they're educated, and they're going to run to Litecoin where they can buy it for $200.
That per unit bias.
And thrilled they can buy it at $1,000.
And
be thrilled.
And even if they buy, which most of them will probably end up buying Bitcoin, but look at what US Bank just did. They announced 3 cryptos that they're going to custody for people, right? Now, this is big. 3 cryptos, and it wasn't Ethereum. It was Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 3 cryptos they're going to custody, right? That's big. So when people are big money is going to be moving into this, they're only going to be moving into what they can get. They're not going to think like we are, and they're going to be like, oh, we'll download MetaMask and we'll go over here and we'll yield farm this coin. No.
Yeah.
They're going into what's compliant. So again, the Litecoin opportunity is, and think of the opportunity, the opportunity is not just price, it's opportunity of financial freedom of everything. But what an opportunity that the market is pricing it at such a discount. So that's all I got for today, guys.
That's a lot for today. So happy birthday to Litecoin. We're thrilled for you. If today is your birthday, if it's tomorrow, if it was whatever day that is for you. I think it's interesting, all those different dates that Charlie Lee gave. So you guys go back, check out that thread. I love that he gave that history lesson for all of us. I've got the information scrolling on the bottom. Join us in Jersey. There's a link in the description to Clint Westwood's website, clintwestwood.net. You can get more information on joining us at the meetup in Jersey. And for the Crypto 101 class that will be on the 16th. So we'll be there on the 15th. I'll be doing lots of giveaways for my birthday. And we've got Pimpy there. Rice Crypto is going to be there. Polly P's there. Johnny's there. Public's going to be there. Westwood's going to be there. I'm going to be there. We've also got possibly Mighty Mouse from Underground Fight League is going to be there, we think. Possibly. working on that. We're going to be bringing cryptos to the underground slightly, through a really exciting partnership. So lots of great things going on in crypto. So
it's going to be an awesome spot, awesome time. So they're opening up the outdoor bar for us as well. So bring your
I
drinking
know we're
shoes.
coming. Bring extra bars. Yeah.
Bring your drinking shoes and get ready to have a good time. Chat up some cryptos, chat up some Litecoin, chat up anything cryptos, not just Litecoin, but obviously, you know, I always want to talk Litecoin. So come by and talk Litecoin with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you tomorrow. I think I'll be at mom's by then. So for happy hour, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And everybody have a great day. Remember to love one another. Take care.